Silas, bound in jail, had no money for the go their bail. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on, hold on.
During the late 1960s, Chicago was not the best place for a black person in America. Blacks and whites were segregated from each other in housing and public schooling, and black folks wanted to change this. In 1962, the Coordinating Council of Community Organizations, or the CCCO, was founded in Chicago as a response to the said segregation in housing and schooling. In 1965, CCCO leader Al Raby contacted Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, or the SCLC, to tour the city and witness the segregation in it. This started the collaboration of multiple organizations and people working together to fight for desegregation, equal housing, and equal schooling for blacks and whites in Chicago. In April of 1965, members of the SCLC and the CCCO marched together on Chicago City Hall and demanded a more equal and open city for African Americans.
We're here today to march to City Hall to demand the redress of our legitimate grievances. I want every one of you here to march with us today. By the thousands, we will march out in a few minutes to make our great witness.
After the march, me and my team began to organize on the west side of Chicago. It was one of the most segregated and poorest parts of the city. We believed starting there would make a big impact.
In January of 1966, the SCLC and the CCCO formally activated the Chicago Freedom Movement. At this time, Dr. Martin Luther King moved into a rundown apartment in the West Side to show his commitment to end slums in Chicago. In the summer of 1966, CCCO and SCLC organizers decided to increase visibility of the movement and specifically targeted housing discrimination. On July 10, 1966, the SCLC and CCCO held a huge rally at Chicago's Soldier Field. This rally included about 35,000 supporters and citizens. Dr. King was a speaker at the rally and told his fellow activists to remember that they were to remain nonviolent.
I had expressed at the rally that CORE fully supported the decision of making this a nonviolent rally. I believe that nonviolence is the key to succeeding in fighting for what is right and what we believe in.
5,000 people then marched to Chicago City Hall, led by Dr. King, where he posted a list of demands on how to make Chicago a better city for African Americans. On August 21st of 1966, during a march of 200 civil rights protesters in South Deering, a mainly white community of about 1,500 white residents lined the streets. Protesters threw bricks, stones, bottles, and obscenities at marchers. A police force of about 450 fought to keep it in order and arrested 16 white residents.
When some people started throwing things at the marchers, I knew things weren't going to turn out so well. Then they started arresting people. I never thought I'd see the day.
Shortly after, Dr. King announced that their next target was Cicero, Chicago. CCCO and SCLC targeted Cicero as their next march site because of violence that erupted there in 1951 when an African American attempted to buy an apartment. Fearing the possibility of violence, Christy S. Burks, the town attorney of Cicero, sent messages to civil rights leaders and legislators with the desire to meet before the march to speak to prevent any violence. A meeting was then held on August 26th of 1966. This meeting included the mayor, governor, legislators, and civil rights leaders. Dr. King then proposed an ultimatum. He agreed to stop further marches in exchange for the city's agreement to provide a guarantee for open housing for African Americans. Despite this agreement, 1,000 activists led by CORE marched in Cicero on the weekend of September 3rd in 1966. Protesters were violent once again, which led Governor Kerner to call in over 2,000 National Guardsmen to stop the violence. Following September's violence, Dr. Martin Luther King declared that no more campaigns were necessary and that the SCLC and the CCCO had officially ended the Chicago Freedom Movement. The city's promise was not fully fulfilled and a lot of housing segregation still remained. However, the Fair Housing Act was passed by the United States in 1968. Its main purpose was to make it illegal to refuse to sell, rent to, or negotiate with any person because of a person's identity.